WYMT News Tip Line.
Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, as lawmakers file what some call anti-LGBTQ bills, a fairness rally is held in Frankfort. And some Michigan State University students protest for stricter gun laws following Monday's deadly shooting, plus how the FBI is helping students and staff today.
It's stormy weather on the way as we head through the day tomorrow. We'll break down the threat for strong thunderstorms coming up as Mountain News at 5:30 starts now.
Dedicated to Southern and Eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Olivia is on assignment tonight. We are tracking rounds of showers and storms moving into our region tonight and tomorrow. Some of those could be severe. Meteorologist Evan Hatter has the latest on this first alert weather day. Evan.
Well, that's right, Steve. We have continued to see sunshine, at least for part of the day, at least filtered sunshine, driving those temperatures up into the 60s in many spots, despite the cloud cover we see in many locations. There's the look here in Hazard. We'll do the same thing as we head over toward the Mountain Parkway at Slade, 67. The current reading there, it is mild everywhere, where they saw a little bit more sunshine today, upper 60s and low 70s in portions of the I-64 corridor. Everybody else kind of in those lower 60s out there tonight. We'll continue, though, to see breezy conditions, winds gusting 20 miles per hour Jackson, 21 in Hazard, and that's all ahead of our potential for showers and storms. We're quiet now, but a back out look. In fact, we watch a few clouds from our south with that system moving through, but the next system is still getting going out to our west. This is why we want you to have that WYMT First Alert weather app handy. You just download it with that QR code in the upper right-hand part of the screen, and you'll see as we head through tonight, you'll definitely want that app because you'll get our forecast here, scattered storms through the nighttime hours. We only fall into the 30s, or excuse me, into the 50s as we head through tonight. We're back near 70 tomorrow with the possibility for strong thunderstorms that could be severe. Those details in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. Michigan State University plans to hold a vigil this evening to honor the victims of Monday's deadly shooting. 3 students were killed and several more were hurt in that attack, sparking a debate about gun control laws that's playing out on campus. CBS's Erica Mokay has the latest from East Lansing, Michigan.
Think of all the classrooms that sit down just like this.
Michigan State students staged a sit-in protest at the state capitol in Lansing, calling for stricter gun laws following Monday night's mass shooting on campus. Among the speakers, a freshman who also survived a deadly shooting at her high school in Oxford, Michigan last year.
Today I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted that I know what is coming. Exhausted I am once again asking our legislators to put our lives first.
At The Rock, a popular gathering spot, students spray painted the words, "To those we lost, to those healing." Brian, Ariel, Alexandria. This new message with the names of the 3 students killed came after someone painted over "How many more?" with a pro-guns message overnight.
We need a message that's healing right now, not trying to force others to grieve in your way.
The FBI is here at the Student Union building to help students and staff get the stuff that they left behind when they ran for their lives.
You hear sirens and you just hear popping noises.
Junior Elliot Bryant hid under the bed when the alert went out that there was a shooter on campus.
I think the worst part is making sure you said goodbye to everyone.
According to law enforcement, the 43-year-old gunman who lived in Lansing had no ties to MSU. Neighbors say they regularly heard him firing a weapon in his backyard.
He's always popping off some rounds. Pop, 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 pop.
Police are expected to give an update on the investigation Thursday as the Michigan State community continues to mourn. Erica Mokay, CBS News, East Lansing, Michigan.
The 5 injured students remain in the hospital in critical condition. The white supremacist who killed 10 black people at a Buffalo supermarket apologized to the families of the victims during his sentencing this morning. Peyton Gendron read his statement following several impact statements from family members. Gendron was sentenced to life in prison without parole after listening to those statements from loved ones. Gendron cried during some of the testimony. The gunman's hearing was disrupted briefly when a man charged at him in court.
I'm very sorry for all the pain I forced the victims and their families to suffer through. I'm very sorry for stealing the lives of your loved ones. I cannot express how much I regret all the decisions I made leading up to my actions on May 14th. I did a terrible thing that day. I shot and killed people because they were black. Looking back now, I can't believe I actually did it.
The judge imposed separate sentences of life without parole, one for each victim, to run concurrently. She also denied giving Gendron youthful offender status, which might have given him a chance to re-enter society. Gendron pleaded guilty in November to crimes including murder and domestic terrorism motivated by hate, a charge that carries an automatic life sentence. The mother of Otto Warmbier, who died days after his 2017 release from a North Korean prison, introduced Nikki Haley at her presidential campaign launch today. Cindy Warmbier credits Haley with giving her the strength to continue fighting against the North Korean regime after her 22-year-old son's death. When they met in 2018, Haley told Warmbier, quote, "You have to stand up to these bullies, these bad guys, because if you don't, they view it as a sign of weakness." Warmbier says Haley took her out of survival mode and put her in fighter mode. Today, President Joe Biden spoke to the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers in Lanham, Maryland about the economy. The president reiterated his support for the middle-class workers of America and that all materials involved in federal infrastructure projects will be made in America.
If the president is spending the taxpayers' dollars to hire somebody to do something, whether it's putting a deck on an aircraft carrier or a railing in a public building, every federal project is supposed to be built by American workers. Everyone using American products, creating American jobs. Well, guess what? I announced new standards to require all construction material used in federal infrastructure projects be material made in America.
Well, overseas now, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told the media today that he and President Joe Biden meet occasionally and reiterated Kyiv's invitation for the president to visit Ukraine. Zelensky said a visit from the U.S. president would, quote, be an important signal to support our nation. The Ukrainian president also said that he is communicating with President Biden through various methods, and he is grateful for the help. Lawmakers are set to grill President Biden's pick to lead the Internal Revenue Service. Daniel Warfel testified before the Senate Committee on Finance today ahead of a full Senate vote. The former acting IRS commissioner was expected to provide insight to questions about how he plans to use the $80 billion in new funding that's coming to the agency during the next decade. The money, approved through the sweeping Inflation Reduction Act, is intended to help crack down on tax cheats and provide better service to taxpayers. At the state capitol today, lawmakers are filing what some call anti-LGBTQ bills. One of them looks to put restrictions on drag performances. Another looks to change public schools' LGBTQ policies, including the use of pronouns. Today, advocates gathered in Frankfort against the bills. Julia Sandor was there.
Supporters, advocates, and political leaders flooded the Capitol Rotunda, all to speak up for LGBTQ rights.
Please keep organizing. Please keep believing. Kentucky deserves better. We deserve for love to win for a change.
Those in the Fairness Campaign say 9 anti-LGBTQ bills have already been filed. Some bills include House Bills 58 and 120 and Senate Bills 115 and 150.
The fact that they've been proposed normalizes this kind of rhetoric and opens the door for more dangerous stuff in the future.
David Murphy is a trans student in Woodford County, only a sophomore in high school.
Realistically, I don't want to have to be here, and I have to be here. And I want people to know that we're here and we are trying so hard to be seen and heard and to get people aware of these issues.
People in the crowd listened to stories and shared their own. By advocating now, they hope they can make a difference in the future.
I want to make a difference and show that the seniors support this too. That we got to fight back against this type of legislation. The kids deserve more.
In Frankfort, Julia Sandor, WKYT.
People with the Fairness Campaign say it's important to reach out to your state representatives and senators to ask for a change. Actress Raquel Welch has died. Her manager says Welch died peacefully early this morning after a brief illness. She was a Golden Globe winner in a career that spanned more than 50 years. Her many film credits include 1 Million Years BC and Fantastic Voyage. She was considered an international sex symbol and involved in a very successful line of wigs in recent years. Raquel Welch was 82. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, you open your email to find an invoice that looks legit, but experts warn con artists are after your information. What you need to know about invoice scams.
Plus, we're continuing to watch the possibility for more showers and storms working into the region later on tonight. Breaking it all down next.
It starts with one of the most